You can see that, right? Does that look good to you?
Yeah, I look like I'm 90, Tony. Thank you.
Well, I can't help
I look
that.
like an old fucking man in his stupid glasses and his gray beard.
So you want me to zoom out as far as
I
possible?
want you, yes. How did we start?
Welcome to Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling.
Maybe you should start it off. You used to always start it off.
All right. Tony, I hope you're recording because we need to keep this part. Welcome to Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling. I'm your host, Mark Riccadonna, and with me as always,
Richie Byrne, what's up?
it's good to be back.
This is weird. We're starting over. It's a new season, a new us, an older looking
New
me.
year, new you.
And I'm in the lovely studios at Governor's Comedy Club, which is
That's fantastic.
home of some of the most famous podcasts. I mean, Keegan and Hirsch and all the big names.
All the biggies. I mean, it's the big five.
Now,
Go.
Mark, I don't know if you ever noticed, but at the back of, I'm sure you saw it, there used to be like 5 or 6 signs at the back of Governor's that had all the different podcasts, and most of them weren't even on anymore. Like, I don't think Joey Cole's done a podcast since 1982. And all these signs up on this fence.
He quit podcasting before podcasting became a thing.
Yes, yeah. As a matter of fact, there was one, I think, of Joey where he has a tin can and a string.
It's the Our Gangs podcast with Joey Cola. Hello, fellas.
Hey, everybody. So I pulled up today, and there's only 2 signs. 1 sign. 2 or 1? 2. Hi, Tony. This is Tony
2.
Walker. Hi, Tony.
Hi. There's
Our
2.
producer. So there's 2 signs. I'm like, what happened to all the signs? Did you guys
Well, one's milk is $1.99.
For those who don't know, there's a deli right there. That's really funny because there are milk is $1.99. Yeah, that's really funny. Come see. Hey, everybody, listen to Keegs and Hirsch and get Swiss cheese for. Anyway, but apparently, I asked Tony whatever the says. He said that Keegan and Hirschman's sign blew off the fence. Just. And I don't know if you know the 2 of them. I know you know Keegan. I don't know if you know. I said that's the first time Keegan and Hirsch have ever been blown off of anything.
Blown. Period.
So it's weird to be. I mean, I've been in here before. I did the show with you and Christy here.
Yeah.
One time, but and I did Keegan's shows a few times. But I mean, God, I've been working Governors probably since 1992. Probably.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was still in junior high school.
I mean, yeah, really? Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been coming here a long time, man. It's amazing, you know. So, and it's such a great club, and it's great. So we're thrilled to. Tony Walker's our producer. I have had a few people go, where's the podcast?
I actually do. I actually did have some people asking about it, so I'm excited that we're back at it. I mean, people write it on my Facebook page all the time, and then when I started putting clips up from old episodes, I had all these people like, "We're so glad you're back. When can I get on?"
Yeah, you've been doing a great job with those clips.
I finally learned how to do the clipping now that the pandemic's over.
If you remember, I was going to try and figure it out, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like,
Tony, I don't know if you've noticed the theme. Richie likes to take on a lot and not do much.
Yeah, so we're back. We're doing this. We're going to have some great guests in the future. Today it's just you and me talking and, you know, shooting the crap. And how you been, buddy?
Things are good. I mean, it's funny. The reason we haven't jumped on this earlier is you and I've been
Very busy. Yeah.
and funny enough, not necessarily in stand up. We've both been acting a lot. We've been doing readings for plays.
We've been very busy. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I'm happy. I'm so happy artistically right now. With where we're at.
I am too. I wish I am. I can't believe how much. And thank you for all the work you've been giving me. It'd be nice if it paid, but thanks anyway. We had a lot of fun. I mean, we shot a short film.
2 short films, really?
Yeah, 2. But the first one, we just speaking of Don Sill, we did a great show at the comic strip. That was all you. And Mark had this great idea because he had 2 films that he directed, one that I was in, and then you tied in with Don Sill, who had worked with you on both of the films, right?
Yeah.
So, and Don had his own film that he shot here, pretty much at Governor's, and Mark put together a short film night, and Tony was there, and it was a great idea to show the films at the comic strip in the city, and Mark thought, hey, since there's comics in the films, let's have some of the comics get up and perform. Yeah. And it was such a home run, right, Tony? It was just
100%, man. What a great night.
It was such a great night, and people are still talking to me about it. They're like, what a great, and I had a lot of fun. And you know what was cool, and I hate to say this because I don't mean it with a big head, but so Mark and Tom Briscoe, shout out to Tom Briscoe, went out and hosted, and they were great. And you guys are going on tour, right? You have a couple of shows together.
Yeah, we have a really cool theater schedule.
I saw that.
It's not a ton of gigs, but they're in really great places. So
yeah, I was wondering why my name wasn't on that, but so I said, "Oh, this is probably paying," and that's why Mark didn't call me. So
I like that you did one gig for me where you didn't get paid.
I'm joking. So
and it was a festival; nobody got paid.
So Mark and Tom went out and hosted, and then they had me come up and do some time, and then they showed the film, our film, Double Eagle, which Frank Vignola wrote. Shout out to Frank. And it was really cool because when it came the point for my character to enter, they did a great shot. Mark and Don did a great shot of how my character enters. And when the camera panned up and it was me, you heard the whole audience go, ah! I was like, oh, that was cool. Yeah, that was kind of cool.
The audience realized, that's the guy.
That's the guy. That's the guy. It was pretty funny.
My favorite part of the night was after we introduced you, and you went on stage and you said to me and Tom, I'd like to thank Tom Arnold and Roseanne.
I didn't say
Yes, you did.
No.
You totally said that.
That wasn't me. That might have been Vignola. No, I called you frickin' frack. I wish I had come up with Tom Arnold and Roseanne.
It wasn't Frank. But we got off stage. I'm positive it was you.
I think it was you, too.
I'm more than willing to take it.
I think it was him.
Really?
You said that, and then you called us frickin' frack.
I did? Wow, because Tom Arnold and Roseanne is brilliant.
We went in the green room, and Briscoe started complaining. He goes, Richie says I look like Tom Arnold. I don't look like fucking Tom Arnold. I'm like, Richie, or Tom. I'm Roseanne in the equation.
Well, what makes
Why
you guys...
are you even upset?
What makes you guys so sure that he was Tom Arnold and you were Roseanne?
Because he looks exactly like Tom Arnold.
I know, you're right, he does.
That festival, we were supposed to also have Paul Lewis on, who did the music. And all 3... Oh,
I didn't know that.
I directed. He did the music for it. And he got COVID, so we couldn't have him. That's why the third M for music, it was supposed to be
right.
Movies, music, mic drop. And we dropped the ball on music because
in a way it was a lucky break because that was a long night.
Yeah.
So it would have been too much because I know you wanted me to sing. And I would have loved to, and all, but it would have. I mean, that night went long, so it's good that nobody seemed to complain. But it just
from an audience standpoint, it wasn't. It didn't seem any longer than a regular comedy night, really.
It was just such a brilliant idea to go
great.
back and forth from films to stand-up.
Yep.
And you know what? Music would have played in great with it, and hopefully you're going to do more in the future.
Well, you have another one
Already
coming
have
up,
a
don't
date
you?
in April.
Yeah, April.
Oh, I'm still waiting for my invite. But
We got to find out what movies make it in the festival.
okay.
It is April 23rd.
Really?
April 23rd. Mark your calendars.
Cool. All right, dude. I'm telling you, anyone, if you're in the New York area, make sure you go. It's just such a great night. I don't know anybody else who's doing anything like it either. So,
Yeah.
you're a genius, my friend. The only thing you do wrong is hang out with me.
I got to get my artist street cred, man, so I have to hang out with you. You're the artist, I'm the businessman. If we were one person, we'd be like the movie Twins. One of us would be unstoppable, and the other would be the leftover shit.
I think we'd be more like Tom Arnold and his new hot wife. That's not Roseanne. And then we did another. Again. It's you're in the middle of why don't you talk about it? A web series that I think is tremendous. People are gonna go, wow, Richie's really kissing ass, but this is such a great idea.
Yeah.
And talk about it a little bit.
So I hooked up with a couple guys, and we decided to start shooting this idea of these guys who work at a convenience store. One is the grumpy old guy who, is happy to have the job because he's got out of prison. He's very old school. Nice guy, but, very old school. And then his cousin, who is uber woke, who got wrongfully Me Too'd. And he's very woke, and we work at a convenience store right next to the UN. So we have an influx of a variety of people who come in to shop, and it's dealing with them with the two. There's a lot of miscommunications and so on. And Richie got to play one of a favorite part of ours was Scotty, the Scottish guy. Who comes in, but we're planning on doing this like a sketch show. So Richie will be back when we start.
Oh, it's fun. Season. It's funny because I thought when I went in to shoot, I thought, man, they should use the same actors in different parts because it's so they could get away with it. It'd be fun. And so I'm glad you're saying that because I didn't want to say it to you because it looks like I'm trying to get more work, but I am trying to get more work. And just once, I'd like to not have to do an accent if we can make that happen.
Yeah, I always have you in an accent.
Yeah, he's always got me doing an accent. And at least the Irish I had, the first movie was an Irish accent. And I had a lot of time to work on that. And one of my best friends is from Ireland. So I literally took the lines from the movie. I put them in front of my friend Danny Price, who we'll be talking about later a little bit. And I go, just read all the lines. So he's reading all the lines, and at one point he turns and goes, why don't I just play the fucking part? And I'm like, shut up and read the lines. And I recorded them,
It's a good idea.
And then when this other thing came up, and Mark goes, we need you to play a Scottish guy. You only have like 5 days. And I called Danny, and I go, how good are you with Scottish accents? And there he was sitting there doing a Scottish accent for me. I go, I'm not going to remember you if I get famous from any of this, right? You realize? So it's a great idea where everybody who comes in. What I love about it is that it takes place in the bodega all the time, right? So
yeah,
that was brilliant to me. Is like you don't have to worry about finding places to do it. It's always takes place in the bodega. So and all this, what are they like 3-4 minutes?
Yeah, they're all very short. And the beauty of this, and I don't even know if I'm supposed to spill this, but season 3 is going to be magically switched to a car dealership.
Oh,
because I wrote a bunch of scripts for a car dealership, and the one producer used to work at a car dealership. and we were laughing our asses off telling stories about car salesmen, the mechanics, the people who do the detail work. And we were like, it's too bad we can't do checked out in a car dealership. And then it was like, well, why can't we? It's,
Do you have
we don't even, and we're debating whether it should be understood why we switch over or if it just happens.
you just do it?
People tuning in go, I thought they were at a bodega.
Do you have a car dealership yet?
No, not yet.
I have a friend who runs a car dealership, so
Nice. We'll have to make this
maybe
happen.
we could talk to him.
I don't know if you know Jimmy Palumbo.
Love Jimmy Palumbo. He was
Jimmy's
there that day. And,
so
and we should do a
got
shout out
him
to Tom Baldinger.
Yeah, Tom Baldinger. 624 Productions, a great guy.
Yeah.
And but we had Jimmy Palumbo come on to play a part, and he had so much fun. It was just a one episode part, and he was having so much fun that we decided to bring him back in this other episode. So he came back the next day to shoot again, and then kissing the right nepotism works, because I started kissing his butt, and we were having a good time and talking shop, and then he got the funding to do Beer League 2. So when that happened, he turned to me and goes, you want to do this with us? And so I ended up getting to play a part in the Beer League 2 thing, which I thought was going to be just a glorified extra that I was just going to be hanging, because he has the original cast. And
Does he really? Machio's in it and everything, or?
Well, so Artie Lang isn't. He knows about it. He's going to see what happens if he's going to come back and dive in, because it's going to be a series.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph Macchio knows all about it. He's excited about it.
Because I know I saw Jimmy had his podcast and Machio was on it recently.
Yeah, and talking about it, because he couldn't do it because he was committed to something else.
Okay.
So he couldn't do it. So they're going to probably be bringing him in.
Okay, cool.
It was so much fun. I thought I was going to be a glorified extra. During the one scene, they just pulled me in. I was sitting in the background, and all of a sudden they pulled me in and started talking to me. We started improvising, and it was like, well, I guess I'm in it.
Wow.
I guess I'm playing right field now.
Well, that's great, man. Yeah, Jimmy's a great guy. And Jimmy was, like I said, Jimmy shot, I think after me or when I was doing this. And I want to kill you guys because you had, Roach was there.
Chris Roach,
and
we had Patty Rossborough.
Yeah, Patty Rossborough played a bitch. I know it's hard to believe. She really had a stretch for that. But
John Fugelsang was in it. He was great. He had to do a German accent. So,
but I'm playing a Scotsman. They put me in a kilt. They have bagpipes and an umbrella because it's supposed to be raining. So I have 48 props in my hand, and I'm trying, and I'm like, I can't even ad-lib. I'm so nervous now because I don't want to drop anything.
Richie's our Jonathan Winters. We just give him props and make him run with it. But Richie, you're my favorite person to work with, because it's like, no matter what the project is, no matter what we're daydreaming about when I'm talking to other people, I'm like, how do we get Richie in this?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
It's like, I mean, yeah, even just last week, I'm on we're going to be shooting this feature film, and Michelle and I are going, okay, what part do we want Richie to play? Because we have to get Richie in it. You have a project.
Yeah, I do. I do.
You probably can't discuss too much.
I'm working. I've been working. I mean, people know about it. It's a musical that a buddy of mine, my buddy Steve Baranski, wrote, and it's called Newport. And he came to me with it about 2 years ago. It's a guy I grew up with, and he's a musician. And he came to me with this about 2 years ago, and pitched the idea to me just to see what I thought. And I loved it. I thought, and then I heard the music, and I was just like, wow. I just couldn't believe how good the music was and how catchy it was. And so they were working on it. They were trying to, workshop it, and I was helping them out. I really wasn't, the first showcase that they did, I just read what what was coming up, why the scenes, you know what I mean, explaining the characters. I wasn't even in it. And then somebody fell out and he was like, "Can you play this role?" I'm like, yeah, I can play this role. And so I came in and we started working on the music. And I've never had, I've done a lot of theater, I've done a lot of musicals, but I never did one where it was all original, so he could cater it to my voice. We were, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, this is how you sing West Side Story and that's it. This is how, this was, and I kept saying, "Steve, we gotta make it," he was funny because I'm like, "Dude, you gotta make the key higher. The key's gotta be higher." And I kept going, "I understand why you have it in a low key for the character. I get why I go, but it's too low." And he goes, "Nah, I just wrote it in a low key because I sing in a low key." I thought it was so funny in my mind because the character's a minister, and I just saw him as fire and brimstone, and he wanted a really deep bass. I'm like, "I get why you wrote it." He goes, "Nah, I pretty much write everything this way." Okay, so we've been showcasing it, and I've actually started helping to write some of the lyrics, which I've never done, and I'm really having fun with that. So,
like a new career path you could go on.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm really excited about it. So hopefully as we move forward in the show, I'll have more and more information about this. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's real. It's hopefully you'll see it soon. We're gonna do a showcase in March. So and I've been working a lot on that. It's and again, like you, for no money. Yeah. And Steve lives in Connecticut, so I've been driving back and forth to Connecticut, so it's costing me a lot of money. But,
that's even harder.
Yeah, it's great. You came to me about, 6 months ago, and said, "Hey, I got these friends. I met these people, and they have their own production company, and they do these readings of original plays, original anything, original material." Yeah. And they were doing it out of their apartment, and I went to my friend Danny Price, who owns Sweet Annie's, along with a couple other guys. Sweet Annie's on 52nd and 2nd, and it's a great Irish bar, and they have an upstairs. And Sweet Annie's has been nice enough. Once a month, we go up there and we bring in actors and we bring in playwrights, and we read. Sometimes we read full scripts. Sometimes we read pieces of things. And you actually, of course, Mark had to be different than everybody. We're reading all these serious plays and stuff, and Mark walks in with a cartoon script. I
had to get it read though because I was taking it to Montreal.
And it was funny, Tony, because I'm thinking, and I don't know how, these are some real serious actors. I'm not sure how they're going to take this because it's pretty campy, right? And they went for it.
Cartoons are fun, man.
Loved it, right? Yeah. I mean, they just loved. I was so surprised. These people.
They got to let their guard down and just have fun instead of like really digging and working.
Yeah, they just
actors. They want to stretch. Yeah, they'll do it. Absolutely.
They had a ball, and then there was another a girl brought in, a woman and this guy brought in this script for a TV series, and like a mystery, and
that was so good.
And she wrote the first episode, the pilot, and we read it, and I'm like, "You got to come back because I got to know what happened." I mean, it was so good, it was just so friggin' good, and we haven't seen her yet, but once a month in the city we do it's called a salon, and we get together at this, and we're hoping to start taking some of the pieces and producing them.
Can anybody just walk in to present or read?
Pretty well. We have to know ahead of time. Okay. So, but if someone says, "Hey, I gotta," we talk to some of our friends. You got anything? And they've been Hannah and Sean are they're a couple, and they were in Mark's movie. They were the two in that other movie.
Yeah, the one with the apartment. Right. Okay.
Yeah, Through Open Doors.
Right. Through Open Doors, which was great.
Yeah, it was great.
And they know a lot of playwrights, and it's just been, and I've been meaning to take time to sit and write something, and I just haven't had the time.
Sure.
So, and some months they go, listen, we don't really have any roles for you. I'm like, thank God. I just go and I sit and I don't, you know what I mean? It's great.
Oh, so people can go and sit and watch too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you're part of the group, yeah. And, you know, it's really not hard to be part of the group. If you show up, you're pretty much part of the group.
Yeah,
Wow.
you're in.
So that's been very enjoyable.
So much fun on those. And it's like stretching a new muscle. You know, we spent so much time working on our stand-up, and then over the pandemic, we were stuck in this weird, not even really stand-up. It was, you know, what we're doing basically now. It was more like 2 years of just podcasting because there were no live shows. So it's just so awesome to be out and stretching in new directions and seeing what's out there.
Absolutely. I didn't mean it. I thought you had a little bit more to say there.
I'm a man of few words.
The good news is we finally can say we'll fix it in post. We definitely had a lot of fun during the pandemic, though, you and I. I mean,
yeah.
It's funny how, like, I kind of miss you because it's weird how during the pandemic I saw you every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we never were together, but I saw you every day. I mean, there wasn't a day. We were doing 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was just hysterical how.
Oh, God.
I was really proud of that. I was proud of that we started using it to raise money for charities. I thought that was great. You know, we didn't just make it about us, you know. And I was really thrilled that we started meeting we met so many great comics, and it was such a great time. I feel
like a lot of our new tribe are people that we met through the pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we met some people who are really now, I consider, like, really close friends that I didn't know 3 years ago, but I consider them super friends. So to find the bright side of the pandemic,
right,
I think was people really found their tribe of the people that they got along with, because you don't have to be nice to people or cordial to people during the pandemic because you only met up with people. It had to be planned. Like, it wasn't like you bumped into someone, so you had to be nice. So you really spent time with the people you wanted to spend time with.
Yeah, right. And for you, it was me, and for me, it was you.
Right? I can't believe we were just talking. I did a thing with Justin Gonzalez, and somebody was like, "Oh man, you guys must have known each other for a long time." We're like, "Actually, no.
Yeah,
we met during the pandemic. The first time we met in person was like when we went to a restaurant that was outdoors that had a comedy show, and he came to surprise me. And then we became friends.
That's right. Yeah.
So it was like this whole thing where it was like, like 3 years ago, I had no idea who he was.
Right. Yeah.
And now he's like one of us. You
right.
know?
Right. Like part of the crew now.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, honestly, you're one of the guys who pre-pandemic I hung out with just as much as now post-pandemic.
Yeah, me too. For you. So, but yeah, I'm glad to be out, and I'm glad we're doing some great stuff, and I'm glad we're back doing this.
Yeah.
We're going to, be bringing in great guests, different. We're going to try and be a little more eclectic with this, right?
Yeah. Mixing it up, I think. We got it.
Yeah. I mean, we always had
too much fun.
When we were doing 5 days a week, I mean, we'd grab people that you normally wouldn't put on a podcast. It wasn't comics. It wasn't, you know what I mean? And they were always seemed to be the most interesting shows. So,
like, I was clipping some of the shows, and you remember Dr. Laura?
Sure. Yeah.
What a fantastic! She was so fun, and she was talking about things that you and I didn't really know about. So we were asking a lot of questions, and I feel like it was a really great episode where when we talk to comics, we just kind of brush over things that I think the average person would find interesting because we're just used to talking about it. So I think it's smart for us to mix it up a little.
Yeah, I agree. And we got Tony.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't admit that.
Yeah, we got Tony wearing his "Don't Worry, Be Happy" shirt.
I think we covered everything for the first show.
Yeah, except for a joke.
Oh, and we don't have drinks. You know, I forgot.
I do. I don't have an alcohol drink, though. It's just
All right.
coffee.
Well, technically, it is just called drinks. It could be anything.
Could be.
Drinks.
We've had a lot of sober guests on our show.
I need a joke. All right. Do you have a joke?
I got a joke. Let's go with this one. This one somebody just told me, and let's make sure I get it right. Okay. On an airplane. All of a sudden the captain comes over and goes, "This is your captain speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, I can do whatever I can, but truth of the matter is you got 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, we're slamming into the side of a mountain. There's nothing I can do, so say your prayers or get anything you need out of your system. I'm so sorry." And he hangs up. Just then a nun stands up. She rips her habit off. She goes, "Oh, my God. I've never been with a man. I've been a nun since I was a teenager. I've never felt like a real woman. Is there a man on this plane that can make me feel like a real woman?" Just then, a redneck stands up. He starts unbuttoning his shirt and goes, "I can make you feel like a real woman. Iron that, bitch."
And hopefully we'll be back if the Me Too movement doesn't.
I didn't say I said that. I said he was a redneck, Richie.
Okay, hopefully we'll be back if the rednecks don't come after.
There's bad guys in movies, Richie.
Yeah, one of them's Alec Baldwin. Ooh!
That's drink jokes and storytelling.
My gym is right over here. And I haven't been going to the gym, and I was like, well, if I'm going to be this close to the gym, I guess I should go to the gym after that's it. So I'm going to try and start getting back to the gym because of this stupid podcast.
Yeah, blame the podcast.